Okay, guys, we're live. Welcome to the Boxing Podcast. How's it going, Tom?
It's going well. Thanks for asking.
How are you, Spencer?
I'm all right. And yourself? Yeah,
I'm good, mate, yeah. Right, let's make a start. Let me just go for the list. So we're starting with... Tapales, how do you pronounce the name? Tapales arrives in Los Angeles, starts camp for a potential Inoue undisputed fight. What do you guys think of this?
Is he the guy that has the other two belts?
Yes.
Yes.
I believe it is. Yeah.
I mean, that would be a good one. That's for undisputed, so that'll definitely be a good one. I'm trying to recall the last fight I seen him. I'm not sure if I seen his last fight.
He's a tough guy.
I don't think I have.
Yeah, I know he's a tough guy. He's a tough cookie. I'm not sure if his skills is going to be on par with Inoue. We're going to see. Hopefully, we see soon before the end of the year. That'll be beautiful.
Oh yeah, it would be great. It would be great.
So yeah, because Inoue's, he's supposedly moving up the ranks. He's going to be, what is this? His fourth division right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to be. It's all said and done. When all is said and done, he might be moving up to featherweight. I think his max might be lightweight, but that's the max.
Yeah, but that's pushing it.
It is. And Floyd wants him to fight Tank, but I think that's a pipe dream.
Too big.
I think that's biting off a little bit too much.
Yeah.
We knew we struggled to beat guys like Donaire, and people like that to put them to sleep. He couldn't do it.
Well, he did it the second time.
Oh yeah. I know. If you're coming at Inoue, he's going to knock you the fuck out, isn't he? Because he's got that sort of style where he can counter. He can be
Yeah, it could have been like, Donaire believing that he's seen something in the first fight, thought he could try to attack Inoue, and that's what, led to what happened in the second fight.
Well, he had a fractured orbital bone in the first fight, didn't he?
Yeah.
Donaire?
Yeah. No.
He broke his face?
Yeah, he broke his face. But he won, he wound up winning that fight.
Yeah.
Put Donaire down, he managed to drop him and win a unanimous decision. I don't think we could judge by that fight how he's going to do, where he is now. He's a better fighter than he was then.
Yeah.
And the style is a different style,
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I hope it gets made. Fingers crossed.
It should. He wants it. They both want it, And Tapales, that's a big payday for him. So he wants it, win or lose.
It's no promotional barriers, right? Like,
I don't think so.
Okay, so that should happen. Yeah.
At these lower weights, it's so amazing how in the lower weights and in the women's divisions, these fights get made. When it comes to the bigger stars, it don't get made very often. I mean, Crawford is such a novelty now. A guy that's unified two divisions,
Well, you got to consider this. Does Arum have Inoue?
No, I don't think he does.
Who has Inoue?
No, I think he does have Inoue.
Yeah, I think he does have it. So there's
he does have it.
Tapales is not with PBC. The problem's between Top Rank and PBC, right? Sometimes Golden Boy will usually make a fight.
Yeah, Matchroom and Bob Arum make fights. It's like you said, it's Al Heyman and Bob Arum. I mean,
Yeah.
It is what it is. Al Heyman might have a reason why he don't like to deal with Bob Arum too much.
Well, don't forget, all those years Floyd didn't want to deal with Bob Arum, and Floyd was with Al Heyman. So, that was the first barrier there. And Floyd had a grudge against him. He made the fight with Pacquiao, because of the money. You know, but he strung it out for 5 years.
Yeah.
He's
I
strung
mean,
it out for 5 years.
and it's crazy because from the time when people really wanted to see that Floyd Pacquiao fight in his heyday, say like 2010, 2011,
Yeah.
Pacquiao had lost 2 times after that. And they still made it a big fight. So people really wanted to see those two guys fight.
Conor McGregor was a bigger fight than that, though? Didn't it make more money with Conor
Not,
McGregor?
I mean, I'm not sure if it made more, but it's because the Manny Pacquiao thing sold for something 4.6 million pay per
Sorry to
view.
cut you off. Let's segue into the next thing.
Okay.
Mary Spencer will fight Femke Hermans, and this will be on October 11th. This will be for the IBO, with the IBF super welterweight title stake, and the IBO belt as well. Currently held by Femke Hermans.
I have a question for one of you guys. You can answer this. And I'm sorry that I don't follow women's boxing enough to know if the weight divisions are the same poundage as the males. Is it the same?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so go ahead. What about this fight?
Comes across on the 11th of October at the Montreal Casino. I mean, I've never heard of Femke Hermans. I have to be honest, I've never heard of him.
I'm trying to remember who she fought because I've heard of her. I've seen her fight. I just gotta remember who she fought because Femke, I heard of her. I heard of both of them actually. Mary Spencer also.
So they're out of Montreal. This fight. This fight's out of Montreal, right?
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah. So it's good that it's for a title. You know, get these titles going.
Well, I've seen Femke fight. If I recall, she won a decision. I don't think there was a lot of knockout power there.
No. I mean, you see it, but I expect some girls get beat up when they really outclassed, but like when they kind of at the same type of level, they usually just go at it.
They go for broke. Yeah, they go for broke. Like Bumgarner's last fight.
Yeah, and like the way Serrano and Taylor was fighting that fight, that was a good one.
Yeah, I don't know too much about this to be excited, to be honest with you. But I'll be happy to watch it.
Yeah. What platform? Well, it's in October, you said, right? So we got time before we figure that out. Because if it's in Canada, you think that got anything to do with the guy up there, Yvonne Michelle, promoting the fight?
It has to. It has to be. Who else is promoting up there? Pascal, I think, was starting to promote, but he didn't do too much with it. Yeah.
And I know he ain't doing these girls.
Not unless he's pimping.
Hey, that's the Donna Stevenson show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right, guys, let's move on. Eduardo Nunes and Zelfa Barrett, the IBF have ordered a semi-final title eliminator fight as part of a box-off tournament. So this is for
Barrett, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He lost in a vacant title fight in his last fight and got knocked out in the first fight.
So why do that?
Well, it's an eliminator because it's an eliminator. Mm-hmm. So he probably got to fight him. If he wins, then he got to fight whoever fights the other eliminator semifinal fight before he could get another shot. So he got like 1, 2, 3 fights before he get another title shot.
So it's a reprieve.
Yeah, I mean, if he's to get another title shot, that's kind of a sort of like a mini redemption going on a 3 fight winning streak or something against top level guys or top ranked guys.
How did he do in that last fight?
He lost. He lost.
You say he
knocked the guy down a few times, but then he lost.
Did he get knocked out?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
No, did he get knocked out or did he get stopped?
He got stopped. So he got stopped.
Well, they probably put him in there because he's exciting and he'll put up a good fight. He's got power.
Yeah.
So it's
The problem for Barrett is he's kind of came up pretty quickly, got to where he needed to, but he's not good enough. I don't believe to ever. I don't think he'll ever win a world title. Yeah.
well, that's why he's in an eliminator. Maybe he'll be eliminated and forget about the title.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. This might be not for Zelfa Barrett. It might be for the other guy.
Yeah, so I'm not familiar with the other guy.
Right,
But this is an eliminator, so that's a good one.
Yeah.
The next thing, Savannah Marshall, it says here, has had to chase Clarissa Shields into another sport.
Really?
Explain this situation, please, Spencer.
Savannah Marshall is about to do MMA,
Okay.
and she's going to want to fight some Clarissa Shields in MMA.
Yeah. Go into a bit of detail with you, Spencer. I'm back in a second.
So Savannah lost the last one to Clarissa, right?
She didn't lose her last fight, but she lost the fight to Clarissa.
Clarissa. Yeah,
Middleweight champion.
Yeah, because she's the undisputed super middleweight. I mean, yeah, she's the weight above. She's undisputed. She's what Clarissa was originally when she first came into the in boxing. Clarissa started as a super middleweight, but then she dropped down because most of the girls that got names and stuff was in lower weight classes.
right.
So she had to she cut all the way to super welterweight. So
I think the only reason these gals are going into MMA is because they can't make enough money in boxing. They don't have enough competition.
yeah, that's it. Like once like with Clarissa, once she beat Savannah, there's no other fight that's going to sell for her to, compete against. I mean, you could try to do some crazy nonsense and bring one of them lightweights up to welterweight, and maybe Clarissa could shrink down to welterweight, but that's it.
There's nowhere for her to go. She needs an opponent. She needs somebody.
Yeah, she's trying to fight Keith Thurman out here. She's trying to get beat up by Keith Thurman, so yeah, she definitely needs an opponent.
She could probably outbox him, but I wouldn't do that.
I'm not even sure she could. Keith Thurman is not a slouch dude. I mean, he ain't. I mean, and as far as fighting a girl, as good as Clarissa is, I would think that Keith is. He's not the guy version of Clarissa Shields per se, but he's not that far down a notch. The only person he ever lost to was the legend. So,
right. Yeah, and that was a close one too.
Yeah, it was. If it wasn't for didn't he get knocked down in that fight?
The first round.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the knockdown, that would have been the difference.
Yeah, and he could have possibly won. I mean, I think the judges gave Pacquiao the nod, but it was more for old time's sake than anything else, because Keith came on and was smothering him at one point.
Yeah.
So I think Keith, he hasn't been in the ring, and it's been a while. When I saw him, he looked big.
We need to segue into our next thing now. On the 11th of November, Pat McCormack will fight Lewis Ritson.
Oh, okay.
And this will be the main event. Obviously, Lewis Ritson is a guy who is domestic, a high-level European domestic sort of fighter, but not quite world level. And his opponent, I know nothing about his opponent. I don't know if I call about his opponent.
These are heavyweights, right?
Yeah. No, this is
Lewis Ritson is what, a lightweight?
I think he is. Put it down there. He's a welterweight. Lewis Ritson's a welterweight.
Oh, that's news. I thought he was a lightweight.
He's gone up. I think he's gone up.
Okay, yeah. This is a main event fight. That's good for him, I guess. They're gonna have him fight Conor Benson. Did he fight Conor Benson?
No, he didn't. No. Right, let's move on. Nikita Tszyu, the younger brother of Tim Tszyu, stops Jack Brubaker in the 6th round in Sydney. Did any of you guys see this fight or not?
No, I seen the highlights. It was on Boxtel too. I could have bought it, I think. But I'm gonna watch that on the YouTube.
Okay.
Because I've never seen his brother fight.
Ryan Garcia. Yeah, neither of that. In other news, Robert Garcia seeks to have Golden Boy lawsuit dismissed. What do you guys think of this?
Well, if it's in his contract that they're supposed to go to mediation, if there's a contract dispute, then he's got a leg to stand on. If he doesn't, he won't.
He got the aforementioned Al Heyman in his ear right now, and Al Heyman, the Harvard law guy.
He's a good guy to have on your side.
So he might know how to beat some court cases. So yeah, he might, like Tom said, he might have a leg to stand on. Golden Boy might have to. They might be in breach of the contract. He could get out of it and go sign with PBC and fight all those Rowley Romero's, Isaac Cruz's, and all of those guys. That would get him a few dollars too, and he could possibly easily beat.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I think Don King turned 93 yesterday.
That's correct. Yeah, the old murdering Git still with us. What a shame.
He's 92 or 93 he turned. He's still
alive. What's it called? Remember Bob Arum, 90-year-old.
Yeah. They don't want to die first. They want the other to die first.
I know. They're like, I'm a whole.
King will live for another 100 years probably, and probably rip more people off. He'd even try and rip Muhammad Ali's grandson off if he could.
Bob Arum, that's crazy. Bob Arum and Don King going to die like Thomas Jefferson and John Adams died at the same time on different parts of the world at the same time.
That's funny. That's funny.
In more important news, Gervonta Davis fight will happen, says Shakur Stevenson. If I was Gervonta Davis, I'd want to fight Shakur Stevenson now before he gets any better. Now would be the time to fight him before he gets any better.
I don't know how much you can improve on him. I mean, he's already phenomenal, a level above everybody.
Well, if they leave it another 2 years, Stevenson will probably beat Davis quite comfortably. But they want while he's still green,
Yeah, they can't wait another 2 years. Shakur gonna grow out of that division. Tank is at his max. Tank can't really be a welterweight. Lightweight is really his max. He's pushing 140, like trying to fight at 140.
I don't know how. He's too small. He's a very small.
Right. Right. So, if he don't fight Shakur at 135, Shakur is about to go past him and go fight at 140, because 140 got more names for him to fight at. There can't be but so many people that's not going to fight him there. Somebody will have to fight.
The problem with Shakur Stevenson is 24 years old. By the time he's 30, he'll probably be fighting at 140 or even 154 or 160. The way he's carrying on, he'll probably be a middleweight. By the time he's finished growing.
Yeah, at least welterweight. We know he's definitely going to be a welterweight in another 4 or 5 years.
Is Shakur with Heyman?
Nah, he with Arum.
Oh boy.
And we know who his protege is.
But listen, all his guys that he got to fight in the division is with Arum. Lomachenko, Kambosos. He got Teofimo if he want to move up to 140. All those guys is with Bob Arum. So Shakur should be able to get fights. He might not get a Tank fight, but he should get fights.
Sure. Sure. But, he's going to be avoided by as many as possible because they know how good he is. So
yeah,
Tank takes him. That'll be a great fight.
They saying that they want him to fight in November, Aaron, and they saying it's going to be for the WBC belt. Lomachenko ain't fighting no more this year, so it's not Lomachenko. Kambosos is fighting somebody else, so it's not going to be Kambosos. So they, kind of narrowing it down. Like maybe Jermaine Ortiz, the one that gave Lomachenko a good tough fight before he fought Haney, or Isaac Cruz is with PBC, and Isaac Cruz might be fighting Tank Davis in a rematch. But
we'll see. We can only hope. Can only hope.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. But Shakur also said that's a huge fight too. If they was to fight Tank and Shakur.
Right. Definitely.
I mean, definitely that'll be a huge fight.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I've got a few other things to add at the end of this that we can stretch this out a bit further. Eric Morales is no longer to train Jamie Munguia. What do you guys think of this?
I thought I put that up too. Yeah.
Go ahead. You go first.
I mean, is there a reason why? Did they state why they left?
Good. No, yeah, because he's stepping up to be the head of the sport, of a director of something, but he's still going to be his advisor, so he's got a different role now. Completely.
Oh, so he's still in the camp, so it wasn't something was wrong with him.
He got a steady gig, is what happened.
So more lucrative, probably. So is Munguia's new trainer the guys that was second?
Yes.
He probably was. I think, Morales was only there as more of an advisory capacity.
So his corner really don't change. He just is out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal.
I want to see him fight Berlanga. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. Now that I'm thinking about it more and more, I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. It'll be cracking for. I mean, Munguia gives good fights. He definitely lets his hands go. He lets his hands go.
I think he could beat Berlanga.
Me too. I think so too.
What do you think, Nathan?
Yeah, I do believe he could do it.
Berlanga does have power, even though we ain't seen it in the past, like 5-6 fights really show itself. But
that's because he stepped up to the better competition.
Yeah, people aren't there to get knocked out.
He's suspect at this point.
Yeah, I mean, people say that about Munguia a bit, but Munguia, I think, is a level above Berlanga. I mean, he should be.
Much more experience.
Yeah. He's fought at multiple weight divisions. He's Berlanga only been at 168, right?
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah, I don't think he was at 168 or 168. Munguia was at 154, was the champ at 154, moved up to 160, fought some decent competition in 160. I mean, it wasn't the top.
He was a champ there too, wasn't he?
Nah, he wasn't a champ. He never got the because when he moved up, remember he moved up. It was Andrade had the WBO belt. He didn't want to fight Andrade. Charlo had the WBC belt. He didn't want to fight him. And then it was Gennady Golovkin with the 2 belts at one point. Or before that, it was Murata, and then it was vacant because I think Canelo, when he moved up to get the undisputed, he had left after he had fought Jacobs. But Munguia was never a 160 champ. He was at 154, and he never fought for a title at 160.
Got it. Okay. Got it. I was wrong. It's not going to be the first time we're going to be wrong. Well,
it's all right. Pencils got erases for a reason.
Yes, that's true. I like that.
Right, guys. We've got that Daniel Dubois fight coming up. I know we talked about it before, but I want the people on Bigo to hear about it. So this is for the 3 belts. I think Dubai is completely out of his depth. I really do think he's going to get destroyed in this fight. I can't see it going past 6 rounds.
It's a lot of trash talking on Usyk. I mean, on the Dubois side, they're talking about they're going to demolish. They're going to steamroll through Usyk. And
Yeah,
they're going to headbutt him. He's going to headbutt him.
But the problem with Dubois, even though he holds a version of a world title, he was put in a position he wasn't even ready for. He wasn't at the level that Joshua was when he beat Charles Martin. Nowhere near. This guy, he's going to get so badly exposed. He's already been exposed.
So, would we say Dubois is better than what Charles Martin was when Charles Martin became a champion?
No, not much. Probably not much better, to be honest. No, I don't think he is that much better.
He's better than Trevor Bryan, right?
I don't know. If you put Charles Martin in, Charles Martin would give him hell. Even Jared Anderson, I believe, could beat Daniel Dubois right now. I have no faith in this man. Yeah. Look, Dubois is good. He hits hard. He's got powerful knockout power. But he doesn't have the ring smartness. He doesn't have the mobility to keep up with Usyk. Usyk will outbox him. He'll run rings around him. When this throws a punch, he'll block it. He'll jump out the way and stop it.
Yeah, this is like
a mismatch. Can't people see that? This
is like Michael Jordan versus a high school player or something.
That's a good analogy. I like that.
The truth is, this is an elite heavyweight against a guy who's just barely B level, who's barely world class. He got put on his ass 3 times by a cruiserweight, a guy in only his second fight at heavyweight. He's got bad eyes. There's nothing. This is not going to end well.
No,
this fight. He's not even ready.
I mean, they might as well go for this one than there's a lot more dangerous fights and for a lot less money that he could be going after.
Yeah. Their cash. This is as good as it gets for Daniel Dubois. He'll just be a contender.
Yeah, like the only other option, which wouldn't really been an option, would have maybe fight Tyson Fury. That wouldn't have been even. I don't even think that would have sold for more.
The other option is when he loses his fight. Obviously, the regular belt will become vacant, supposedly, or they're trying to get rid of it. But I reckon they'll just pop it back in there, and they'll conveniently put it in Anthony Joshua's next fight. It wouldn't surprise you, would it?
No, it would. They you know what they should do? They should make Wilder versus AJ for the WBA World title.
WBA World Belt, yeah, because it would sell. That fight sells all on its own. You don't need any belts, but the belt it just adds an added incentive in it.
Yeah, that adds icing to the cake, and 3% to the.
I mean, fair play to Daniel Dubois for stepping up because Tyson Fury's not stepping up, is he? He's too busy fighting MMA fighters, you know.
Yeah, supposedly. Usyk said after Dubois, he's gonna try to push for Fury to come fight him.
Yeah, I have something else to talk about as well before we go. John Fury threw tables at the KSI Tommy Fury thing. Did anybody hear about this?
No.
I've seen the headlines. I didn't read the article though.
I didn't bother watching it, but I'm going to watch the conference in a bit. I tell you what, I enjoy this YouTube stuff. I know you guys can't stand it, but I think it makes boxing interesting. It makes it. I don't have no ill feelings. I don't bash it the way a lot of others do, because Jake Paul is in his lane. It says something though that somebody that's a novice at the sport could be making more money than guys that train their whole life at it. Tommy Fury, who's living off his brother's name, has done for the last 4 years, and he's been given this massive payday of £3 million in his last fight. Now he's going to.
Wasn't he on London's show called Love Island or something? That's like the equivalent of The Bachelor or something.
Yeah. In the UK, he got famous for that because he's the only Fury that actually has any good looks. The reason that Tommy is so good looking compared to the rest of his family is because he's only Tyson Fury's a different mum. His mum is black. Tommy Fury's mum is black.
Oh, oh wow. I didn't even
He's
know.
from St. Mauritius, yeah.
So
So
John, so John, John went astray from the community, huh?
yeah. John has got about 12 kids with about 5 different women.
Okay.
So for me, I'm going to pick Tommy Fury to win this, but I don't think KSI is that bad. I think he's similar level to Jake Paul.
Well,
Hey,
the only reason I'm not crazy about it, I don't care if these guys make money, and it brings attention to boxing, and I think that's good. The only reason is that I don't see the beauty of the work in the art of self defense when these guys fight. Like when I watch Boots Ennis, or if I watch Bud, or if I watch Manny, or if I watch any of the great fighters, then you see it. But I don't see it here, so it's kind of like boring in that regard to me. That's
yeah,
the
they
only
like
thing I
kind of
can say.
just throwing punches. That's it. Like they just throwing
Yeah.
punches,
So
not setting
that's
it up, not trying to really do anything. Throwing punches and trying to avoid the other guy. I mean,
you
which
know
is essentially what boxing is: hit and don't get hit. But
Oh yeah,
the way
we've
they
got
do
another
it,
thing this weekend as well. We've got that main card on the Effie Jagba and the Jared Anderson are all in action this weekend.
yeah. The only reason why I didn't really bring that up because we talked about it on Friday,
We did,
like
yeah,
kind of
that's right.
extensively. That's the
Yeah.
only reason why. Because I'm like, it's a short week. Ain't nothing really happened this week, so
yeah.
that's why we
Yeah.
got Harry Spencer as the second article to discuss this week.
Yeah,
But
we covered that last time for sure.
yeah, because this is a good night of heavyweights. It's a good night of
It is.
heavyweight fights.
It's a great night.
Because you got Jololoff. You said Jololoff is fighting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct.
FA is fighting. Jared is fighting.
So somebody's going to fight somebody here. Any of those winners may fight each other.
Yeah, Zan Kutsabutski is fighting one of the guys in there. I can't remember who he's fighting. Let me look it up again. Have a look at the card again. Give me 1 second.
When that kid Torres coming back out?
He fought last week, 2 weeks ago. He won.
Oh, okay.
He knocked the guy out. Yeah.
Oh, that must have been on the undercard. No.
Yeah, you know what? I put it on the site. I put it on.
All right, I'm gonna check it.
Yeah, you'll see it.
I'm not sure.
Okay, so since he fought not too long ago, he might be in the mix with them
Guys,
four
I'm
too.
not sure Effie Jagba gets out of this fight without a loss. Zan Kutsabutski is a big 6'7" guy. He's got a bit of power about him. I just don't think Jagba's going to win. He's going to have to knock him out to win.
Well, he's capable of doing that. His right hand is capable of taking anybody out if he lands it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's strong, but
he's a poor man's Wilder. He's a dollar Wilder, isn't
he? He's not on that level at all.
No. And Jared Anderson is fighting that Andrei Rudenko guy, who is a slow, plodding European style fighter from Ukraine. This Anderson will get the stoppage.
Yeah, he's probably going to get a stoppage. What's it called? Should win by stoppage. Jololoff.
He'll put somebody to sleep.
Yeah, and
we've come to the end. I want to talk about a classic fight. When Lennox Lewis fought Oliver McCall the first time. Does anybody remember this fight? Yeah. He got chinned.
Listen, I was not a huge Lennox Lewis fan at that time.
Why not?
And I don't know, maybe because he was British. I don't know. I was younger. It was like 30 years ago. I was more naive.
I could tell you I was not either, and I could tell you why. It's because he was still fighting an amateur style at that point.
Yeah.
That's what turned me off a little bit to him.
And
anyway, I remember the fight.
Yeah, with McCall, to me it seemed like McCall closed his eyes and threw the punch, but when replay he didn't close his eyes.
Do you know what the problem is? Lennox Lewis was never liked in England. Everybody preferred Frank Bruno. Lennox Lewis was born in England, lived there the first 11 years of his life, goes to live in Canada, fights for Canada at the Olympics. we never really accepted him until he became undisputed, and that's the truth. If he'd never
Yeah,
been,
nah, I got that. I got that. I know, I got that. You know, he's Jamaican, Canadian, British.
So for me, he was never really, he was a Brit, but he wasn't a true Brit like Lennox Lewis or AJ was. AJ's a much bigger name. He's got a bigger following than Lennox Lewis ever had in this country. Much bigger. But people respect Lennox Lewis. Now he's retired. People respect him more. It's a shame he never got that respect in his career because he was damn good. He would have beaten anybody in this generation, in my opinion.
Lennox was great.
He was one of the best ever.
Once Emmanuel got a hold of him, it changed completely.
Yeah, when Emmanuel got to him, it was done. He was that was it. He was the best. He was the man. Yeah, he was the man.
But people could always discredit his career, like when he beat a faded Tyson 20 years too late, and he beat a faded
Holyfield.
Holyfield. But he beat all the names. He beat everybody of his generation. He even beat Vitaly Klitschko.
I mean, he beat Riddick Bowe in the Olympics. So
yeah. But I reckon he would beat Riddick Bowe. I really do think he had the style that.
Now I don't know if he would have beat Bowe when Bowe was the champ and Lennox was coming up prior to him taking a hold, prior to Stewart really grabbing hold of him. But I don't know if he would have beat Bowe then. But
talking about Riddick Bowe, because I didn't watch a lot of boxing until like 97. Riddick Bowe had been and gone by the time I started watching boxing.
Yeah, he was on
his fights.
The only thing about Riddick Bowe when he was younger, and still, with his training, he got lazy. He took too many shots. That's why he's in the position he's in. And Lennox was a heavy hitter. If they would have fought, around that time, it's very conceivable Lennox, with his power, could have stopped him.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, but then again, Riddick could have stopped Lennox too, because Lennox, was at that early days.
Yeah.
He had, fragile whiskers.
Yes,
a bit like
true.
Anthony Joshua. Also, I believe at this time period that Oliver McCall was a great fighter, but the addiction took over. That's what cost him his career. And as we know, he retired about 4 years ago. He was still fighting well into his late 40s.
Was it addiction or was it mental illness?
Mental illness, and he was addicted to drugs as well.
Like him and Ike Ibuchi, those two wasted talent, man.
Yeah, man.
But at least Oliver McCall can say he was world champion. He had Frank Bruno, which was a surprise to everyone when it happened. It was. I remember back in '95 when Frank Bruno won the world title. Everybody at school the next day was so happy that Bruno had won it because he made a single. He made a song to get him to be world champion. You see.
Oh, okay. And
when he fought Mike Tyson the second time, we all knew that Tyson was going to kill him. We all knew, Yeah.
And he did.
Yep.
Oh, it was brutal. Jesus. And Bruno had to retire at the end of it because he had a detached retina. But looking at the career of Oliver McCall, I mean, he had a respectful record, won a world title, had some addiction problems, He was a good professional, But the only match 4 years later, obviously, he cried in the ring. Do you remember this? When he cried in the ring?
Yeah, he broke down. He fucking broke down. He had a nervous breakdown in the ring.
Yep.
But
that sounds like that. That's such a.
Lennox, you'd be embarrassed if you won a world title because somebody cried. You'd be embarrassed, wouldn't you? Really?
Well, yeah, that's such a drop in 4 years' time from being a world champion to crying in the ring.
Yeah,
and fighting for the bacon again.
Don't forget that those guys. One shot could make hurt their brains and they become schizophrenic.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. They definitely in a dangerous sport.
They get brain damage.
Yeah. Like you said, with what's it called, Rick Bowe got hit so much he could barely talk. He could barely understand what he's saying when he speaks.
Yeah. Andrew Galata did a number on him too.
Yeah, he probably can't. His kids probably Because of Galata. Galata hit him. Did they fight 3 times or just 2?
2.
And both times Galata was winning the fight and just couldn't stop hitting him in the nuts, yo.
Yes.
Guys, before we go, there's always one fighter that it really makes me sad. Gerald McClellan. That fight, I watched it for the first time last year after 25 years of watching it, and it was hard to watch because we know how it ends, we know what happened. In the UK, they did a documentary about it, right? And Oliver McCall has got a son who boxes as well. Not Oliver McCall, so Joe McClellan's son boxes as well. And he was on an interview. He was saying it's so hard when he sees his dad. It's so hard for him. He has the same trainer, I think, that Joe McClellan had. So he's got the same sort of people around him. But it's so sad his son lost. But he said every time he saw his dad, he couldn't help but feel guilty. You know.
Well, you see, that's an example. That's an example.
Yeah. And then he basically said that Nigel Benn was probably on drugs when he beat his dad. And then they're looking at Conor Benn, and he said, how can history repeat itself? He looked at Conor Benn and said, he's just chip off the old block just like his dad. You know.
Well, in McClellan's case, it was he caught a shot to the head and he started blinking, and then, you know, it caused the brain bleed. That's what happened. Yeah. Whether it was drugs or not, you know, he got hit in the head. He was getting, you know, I don't know if there were PEDs involved or what, but he was getting hit in the head, and right there, that one punch changed his life. So it's just a shame.
It is what it is, isn't it? But you know, it's a forgiven sport, unforgiven sport. People know what they're getting in for, you know.
Yeah, that's why you don't.
Fund.
You gotta respect fighters because you never know. Man.
You don't know sport you don't play.
Just
you don't play boxing.
Nope.
You know, in Emmanuel Griffith, you know, same thing. Right, we finished the show now, guys. I'm gonna stay on the line afterwards, anyway, guys. We can.